Hello everyone, welcome to my little slice of the internet, aka Jenna's Spiel, and in today's episode we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So you know when you really are into a TV show, and they're building up to the climax of the series, and then out of nowhere, a clip show comes. Well, that's basically what I'm doing right now, so I apologize in advance because I basically hated clip shows growing up, but you know, I only got one more issue of Amethyst left, so I want to make it a good one, and I'm just buying time. Just buying time. So how am I going to amuse you guys before I get to the final episode of Amethyst? I thought I would show you what I was up to in my spare time. Sorry, I just got a text message. I'm a very important person. But before I can show you that, sit back, relax, and I'm going to regale you in 9th grade English literature. Okay, seriously, that was another text message. I'm sorry, I'm very, very popular. Okay, that needs to go. What was I saying? Ah, yes. Oh, for the love of God. That one was just an email, that's fine. Where was I? Ah, yes. English class, grade 9. So like many junior high students, we were doing Romeo and Juliet. And of course, because school is a cruel and sadistic place, we were put in groups. So part of that group work is, you know, in addition to writing essays or whatever the usual crap was for Shakespeare, we had to do a collage. Which, you know, Jenna, why are you telling me about your 9th grade assignment from like 10, 15 years ago? You're old, please move on. I volunteered, or maybe it's just part of the group discussion, I kind of said like I'm artsy-ish, like I can slap something together and make it look good. So I spent many painstaking hours flipping through the pages of 17 magazine, even though I'm pretty sure I was only 14, 15 at the time. Anyways, I had 17 magazine, it's fine, don't worry about it. So sure enough, there was like great articles in that issue about like interracial couples, which is kind of, you know, like a Romeo and Juliet theme of like people who are getting together, who aren't supposed to get together for like all the wrong sorts of reasons. You know, you've read Romeo and Juliet, you know what's up. My teacher, whose name evades me, I think it was Margaret something, she's about to hand back our projects, and what does she do? She raises mine and some other rando groups' collage, and then proceeds to compare them. Which is fine for me, because mine was the, hey, this is what your collage should look like, versus the, you've got like Romeo and Juliet written in the middle and then some hearts around it, versus mine was clippings from magazines and just like, I went to town on that, you're welcome. And not only that, this is part of the reason why I'm regaling this story, is because the cool kid, Jamie, I remember, bro, you gave me a thumbs up. Is it sad that I'm reliving my teenage years? Anyway, so why am I telling you about a collage from like over a decade ago? Because I'm making another collage! So I've already tried to do a rough screen test, I guess, with this. And yeah, if you think it looks like chaos now, it looks even worse when my face is in front of it. So I've got a little bottom section down here, and then other than that, I'm done. This has been about, I'm gonna conservatively say 12 hours of my life, but really it's probably been like twice that. Also, I'm gonna preface this with, you know those annoying people who make things like this? Or like this? And they basically just destroy books in the process? Yeah, that's not me. So one of my favorite comics that I've read so far is Snot Girl. I have like the first 5 or 6 issues bound in volume 1, and I have like 2 issues of issue, I think it's 3. So basically I have 3 issues of issue 3. And could I destroy that and put it on this board? Nope. Couldn't do it. I'm gonna do like a room tour, only it's a comic book divider tour, and I'll show you kind of the poor comic books that did have to get sacrificed. But I did try to stay away from some of my actual issues, so a lot of what you'll see is just things from like the free previews and stuff that some of the comic book stores give you. So without further ado, I will stop telling you stories of grade 9 English class and let's just get to it. So one of the things I wanted to include was some retro ads and some not so retro ads. And then there's also some really great kind of like 1-page shots. You'll see that, sorry, but it's like super wrinkly. Apparently Mod Podge paper glue is not really meant for this project. I tried to kind of pick color-ish themes, so like I wouldn't have one fully red panel or one fully blue. I tried to kind of mix all the palettes of the rainbow in there. However, for anyone who's seen Ray William Johnson, yeah, he used to do just the full pages, and I can completely understand why, because like I said earlier, this is just chaos when you see it behind my head. That 9th grade collage fiend kind of came over me, so I wanted to include things that were, you know, visually interesting or just a little bit different. So for instance, Amethyst. As you guys know, that's the first comic I ever bought and kind of kicked off my whole collection. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm a huge Buffy fan. Those Got Milk ads were huge in like the 90s. I've also got this Dutch comic. I believe it was just a Donald Duck collection, but I mean you got the Bugle Boys. The Beagle Boys? What are they called? You've also got some Pokemon. And of course, Dragon Ball Z. Yep, I'm a Buffy nerd and a Dragon Ball Z nerd. So some of these, like, I've never read The Highest House, but I mean, that cover looks pretty darn cool. So there's a Batman from the animated series collectible there. I also painstakingly cut around Spidey's web here for this one. Don't really think you'd see this sort of thing nowadays by any means. More ads from Nickelodeon. Saga, I'm pretty sure, is an Albertan, if not Calgarian comic, so you know, gotta represent the Canadian pride. And of course, Archie Comics. Got some anime over here. I really enjoy this weird love one. I don't know why, but it just looks cool to me. Again, another painstakingly cut around here, so this took a lot of planning. Sometimes it was just a matter of finding the right size, and sometimes I had to kind of pre-plan where all the panels were going to go. Here's another one that's a homage to a video game, if anyone's played Fester's Quest. I'm also mixing old and new a little bit on this one so you can see. I can't remember what this actor's name is. I just remember him as Ryan from the OC, but now he's Commissioner Gordon or Detective Gordon or whatever. Anyway, so I have, is it Ben McKenzie? Sure, let's go with that. And then down here I have the newest rendition of Archie and the Gang. So this is like KJ Apa and all those other kids. So I know that's probably controversial to have on my background, but you know what? I got Bill and Ted next to it, so you can forgive me. So again, more panels that I've painstakingly cut away at. Harley. We got the Shredder here. I really like this panel. It's like a panel within a panel. Of course, some more Buffy. Got the Joker. I got some more things I found in previews. I really liked this kind of page here. It was a bit different, obviously, from like the usual square panels. It's actually Cyclops getting an eye test, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got little Gohan again. He's about to see the moon for the first time, in case you don't recognize that panel. Earthworm Jim. Again, some video game stuff in here. Any Power Ranger fans among you guys out there? And this is kind of the blank space. The next one I've kind of mapped out. This is, I like to think of it as the Where's Wally of Deadpool. Got our Gain Genie ad. Has anyone read this issue of Thor? This is the only issue of Thor I've ever read. And it's basically him fighting the Grinch, which is pretty amazing. We've got Veil here. Veil is another comic I haven't read, but just picked up based on the cover alone. It's got a really beautiful watercolor style. You got Superman and Wonder Woman. Like, look at those cheekbones. Oh my god. And then for those of you that can't read this, it says, I am Groot. I'm basically just taking advantage of the Guardians of the Galaxy craze right now. Like, come on. Mr. T ad? That's just amazing. And in case you don't believe me, this is what I mean by painstakingly finding each panel that I want to put onto the board. Like, these are kind of the top tier ones. I mean, Tobacco is Wacko, kids. I feel like that should be in there somewhere. So that's it. That's my room tour, so to speak. I know that this background is kind of like white and blank and kind of like the inside of a mental asylum, but the rest of my house looks like that too, if it's any consolation, so just minus some of the extra padding. Anyways, another 2 weeks and I will have the last issue of Amethyst up for you guys. What I would like to know, and I'll probably remind you again in that video, is what would you like to see from me next? So, I know there's only 4 of you that watch, so mom, dad, brother, and 1 random internet stranger. Feel free to comment below. I mean, I've already got some ideas. It's probably gonna be Stephen King related because I am just obsessed, and he's done comics, so the obsession is not limited just to my book collection. There are also more issues of Amethyst, so I think there's like a 1986 series, or an 85 and an 86 series. I feel like, and then there's another one that came out I think in 2016, so there's lots more Amethyst if that's what you guys are into. Anyways, whether or not I hear from you guys in the comments below, I definitely have a lot more in mind. I think I might actually be changing up the format a little bit, so as much as I enjoy doing the 3-minute episodes every other week, I think I might combine them. It kind of depends on the issue or the comic series that I'm going through, I guess. I hope you guys will keep watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!